He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Yeah, what can we say about He-Man? So, as a child, I was obsessed by He-Man. I had a lot of toys, hundreds of toys in fact, and yeah, I absolutely loved it. I grew up with it, grew up watching it on the repeats. I was a little bit old, a little bit too young, so He-Man came out in about 1984-85. I was born about 1985, about. So, yeah, I grew up watching the repeats. I loved it. I remember the second He-Man cartoon that came out in the early 80s. And that was kind of rubbish. But yeah, the original He-Man was great. I had all the toys, but that's not where my obsession ended. So here we go, Masters of the Universe. You'll note it doesn't say He-Man yet because it was originally called Masters of the Universe. When the toys came out, the cartoon hadn't been commissioned yet. So there was nothing to really go on except for these characters that had been invented in various places by various people. So they brought out these little mini comics to go with the toys. So what happened here is they decided to make a record before they made the cartoon. So yeah, so the stories are different, the characters are all very different, the voices obviously are different. This thing was more like a sort of barbarian Conan type character. So he would just battle evil on Eternia. There was no Prince Adam, no Cringer, none of these other characters. I don't believe there was even an Orko either. Shocking. So, yeah, the music to this album was amazing. We Are the Masters of the Universe. It's a very cheesy sounding thing, quite amazing though. Sounds a little bit like the 70s band The Tubes, if anyone remembers them. Yeah, we've played it on the show a few times, and I'm sure we will play it again, but this record definitely has a place in my heart, so to speak. There was this man, Shucky Levy. He was responsible for the theme tunes to Inspector Gadget, also Ulysses, later on Power Rangers and She-Ra, but he came up with the He-Man music, the amazing music that played throughout the cartoons that drove me and my brother mad with curiosity. We used to hold microphones up to the TV just to record the soundtrack and then try and edit out bits of the cartoon to try and make our own soundtrack compilations. That's how cool we were. There were subsequent releases over the years of the music from He-Man. This one here, which originally came out on cassette tape and then CD, is quite hard to come by, but it's ridiculous. A lot of the music on this is recorded straight from kind of cassette audio. It sounds like it's all chewing up and malfunctioning. Like, it's really odd. Some of the music's great though, but it would have been amazing to have this in better quality. One funny thing about this is it was all in Spanish, so there's a Spanish version of the He-Man theme where there are lyrics where there shouldn't be lyrics. So there's whole verses through the He-Man song which weren't there originally. I'd love to translate that one day and find out exactly what they're saying on that one. I was extremely happy when a few years ago, well, 5 or 6 years ago, this got released, which is the music from the television series He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This is a pristine, proper pressing of all the original music from the He-Man cartoon. So there you go, you've got the lot here. I mean, it's so great. It goes on further than that. There's lots and lots and lots of tracks on this. Let's see how far down we go. I mean, yeah. It's all there, as you can see. Lots of tracks on this album. A great release, double album, 53 tracks on the first disc. What have you got? Blimey, about 56 tracks on the second. So, yeah, pretty good going, right? For hardcore He-Man fans, or fans of the He-Man music, you couldn't really ask for much more than this. It was released, I believe, originally with the box set of DVDs, which again, remastered and pristine copies. So a lot of the He-Man I watched in my youth came from videos I found at car boot sales and charity shops. Because although I remember it being on TV repeated, that was when I was very, very young. So the way I remember it is through these. I believe the video I had that this case belonged to was a pink video, and I have strong recollections of it smelling of strawberries, like it was scented to smell of strawberries. I could be totally wrong there, but that's just where my memory's taken it. Sadly, these are the only figures I happen to have these days. A hatless Orko, Modulox head, trapped jaw without any of his accessories, a slightly bow-legged Buzz-Off, and Webster, who appears to have claimed He-Man's, whatchamacallit, for some reason. Yeah, look at his leg. So, yeah, these figures are becoming like more and more harder to find, more and more scarce. They used to be in every single jumble sale and charity shop you would go to. Now you don't really see them anywhere, and if you do see them, they're about £5 or £6 each, which is kind of annoying. So I still pick them up now and then. If I see them in a charity shop or anywhere, I will buy them because, I mean, you know, look, why would you not want that face in your life? Or, you know, this one here. or the head of Modulok. The head of Modulok, I actually found him underneath a tree I was uprooting for my father's garden. There you go. There's a story for you. Look at Orko. I did happen to find this guy at a toy fair recently, for which we have made a video of. This is a kind of recent figure of Trapjaw. I think it's really good. He comes with really cool accessories. Look at his gun, man. That's quite more full on, isn't it? And wires and stuff. The camera really doesn't want to focus on his face. Honestly, I don't blame it. This happened in the late 80s. This film, Masters of the Universe, starring Dolph Lundgren. Now, I love it personally, but I can understand why a lot of people didn't. Although it did feature He-Man, Skeletor and Man-at-Arms and a few other people, a lot of the characters were lost. The thing took place on Earth rather than Eternia. And yeah, there were problems with this film. As I say, I like it, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. But I think people are starting to kind of appreciate He-Man again. It's starting to become more popular again in the in the mainstream, and yeah, for good reasons. I believe there's a live-action film is going to happen at some point. A few years ago, there was talk about Michael Bay making this film. I'm quite glad that never happened. Hopefully, someone a bit better will make it. I don't know. I don't want to offend any Michael Bay fans out there, but he's not really my cup of tea. So hopefully, this will get a good film made one day. So there we go. Just thought I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about my obsession with the He-Man music and, overall He-Man. It's good stuff. You can't beat it. Look at these toys. Aren't they great? They're probably not in focus, but, they might be. So, yeah, we are the Good, the Bad and the Ugly show. We have a radio show on Phonic FM 106.8. We do it every Thursday lunchtime, 12 till 2. You can find us on www.phonicfm.com, or you can go onto FM radio and locate us that way. So, yeah, please remember to subscribe if you will, or, don't if you won't, and give this video a like. I'd appreciate that and all. So there we go. A 36-year-old man obsessed by He-Man.